It is 11:47 p.m. on Sunday, September 14th, 2008, and you are sitting at your desk on the fourth floor of 745 7th Avenue with your tie off and your third coffee going cold, beside a keyboard you haven't touched in 9 minutes. The fixed income floor is never this quiet. Tonight there are maybe 40 of you, spread across a trading floor built for 500. And nobody is pretending to work. Bloomberg terminals are live, but the markets are closed. There is nothing to trade, nothing to price, nothing to hedge. You are just here. 4 hours ago, a managing director you had never spoken to walked through the floor, said, "It's done, the British killed it," and kept walking toward the elevators without breaking stride. Nobody asked a follow-up question. Somewhere on the 31st floor, the executive suite with the boardrooms and the private dining room, lawyers from Weil Gotshal are drafting a Chapter 11 petition for a company with $639 billion in assets. You know this because someone on the government bond desk got a text from a friend in legal. Since then, the number has moved through the floor, the way a final diagnosis moves through a family, quietly, without anyone raising their voice. You are 31 years old, 6 years at Lehman. Your base is $190,000. Your bonus last year was $410,000. Your 401k is 62% Lehman stock, because every year they told you that was a sign of commitment. To understand how you got here, you need to go back 5 days. 9:51 a.m., Wednesday, September 10th. The quarterly earnings call has been rushed forward by more than a week, which is the kind of scheduling decision that answers the question before anyone asks it. The stock opened at $7.79. 12 months ago, it was $67. You have watched $59 of per share value evaporate in a calendar year. CFO Ian Lowett's voice comes through the floor speakers. He announces a $3.9 billion loss, the largest quarterly loss in the firm's 158-year history. Then he says the words, "Our capital position at the moment is strong." And you watch 3 people on your row look down at their keyboards at the same time, the way people do when they don't want anyone to see their face. The plan is to spin off $25 to $30 billion in commercial real estate into a separate company, sell the investment management division, slash the dividend from 68 cents to a nickel. The stock drops 7% on the announcement. The trading floor goes quiet. Not silent, quiet. The kind where people are still typing, but nobody is talking. You pull up Lehman's CDS spread on Bloomberg. Credit default swaps on your own firm's debt have been climbing for weeks. The market is pricing in the possibility that you don't work here anymore. Your girlfriend texts, "How bad is it?" You type, "We'll be fine." And you don't know if that's a lie yet. By Thursday, the lie is impossible. Goldman downgrades you. Citigroup downgrades you. The stock falls 42% in a single session, landing around $4.22. But the number that scares you isn't the stock price. You overhear your desk head at the coffee station talking to a senior trader who doesn't realize you're 3 feet behind them. JP Morgan, which clears Lehman's trades, has frozen the more than $100 billion in daily borrowing that Lehman accesses through the interbank market. $100 billion. A company that cannot access overnight funding is a company on a ventilator. And someone just asked the doctor to step out of the room. That evening, the Wall Street Journal reports Lehman is shopping itself. Bank of America. Barclays. You learn your firm is for sale from a newspaper website at your desk, inside the firm. No one from the 31st floor has told you anything. No email, no town hall. Friday, the stock falls again, closes at $3.65. Your Lehman equity, worth over $2 million a year ago, is now worth less than your car. Late Friday afternoon, Timothy Geithner, president of the New York Fed, summons the heads of every major Wall Street firm to the Federal Reserve Building on Liberty Street. Goldman, Morgan Stanley, Citi, J.P. Morgan, Merrill. Treasury Secretary Paulson will chair the meeting. The agenda is whether your firm lives or dies. You are not in that room. You will never be in that room. Your desk head gathers the team at 7 p.m. and says, "If they find a buyer, we all have jobs Monday. If they don't, I genuinely don't know." That is the most honest thing anyone has said in 6 months. You come in Saturday anyway. Not because anyone told you to, because you don't know where else to go. The negotiations at the Fed run all day. The word filtering back, Barclays is the most likely buyer. Bank of America is hedging. By Saturday afternoon, the rumor hardens. Bank of America is already in secret talks to buy Merrill Lynch. They are not coming. Merrill's CEO has cut his own deal, while Lehman bleeds on the table. Paulson has told every bank in the room there will be no government backstop, no public money, no Bear Stearns repeat. Sunday morning, good news for the first time in a week. Barclays has agreed to buy Lehman Brothers. The whole firm. You feel something loosen in your chest that you didn't realize had been tight since Wednesday. The feeling lasts less than 3 hours. Under British law, Barclays cannot guarantee Lehman's debts until its shareholders vote, and that vote can't happen until Tuesday. Barclays asks the Fed to cover Lehman's obligations for 2 days. Paulson says no. Then London calls. The UK's Financial Services Authority has refused to waive the shareholder requirement. The deal is not delayed. It is dead. That is when you find yourself at your desk at 11:47 p.m. on a Sunday in a building full of people who have nowhere to go and nothing to do but wait. At 1:45 a.m. on Monday, September 15th, Lehman Brothers Holdings files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in the Southern District of New York. The petition lists $639 billion in assets and $619 billion in debt. It is the largest bankruptcy in American history. Larger than WorldCom. Larger than Enron. Larger than anything. You learn about it from a Bloomberg alert on your phone at 1:48 a.m. You are still at your desk. You read the headline twice. Then you close your laptop. You put your hands flat on the surface of the same desk you've sat at for 4 years. Same 2 monitors, same phone with the speed dial to the repo desk. Same mug your girlfriend gave you that says, "World's Okayest Trader." Then you sit there for a very long time. The 15,000 square feet of LED screen on the outside of the building is still running. Lehman Brothers' name is still glowing into Times Square. The company behind the sign stopped existing 11 minutes ago. You go home at 2:30 a.m. You sleep for 3 hours. You come back. By 7 a.m., CNBC satellite trucks line 7th Avenue. Cameras are angled at the revolving doors like paparazzi at a funeral. Inside, small groups stand between desks, talking quietly. A few are stuffing things into cardboard boxes. Photo frames, notebooks, running shoes from under a desk. The Dow drops 504 points by the close. Lehman stock falls 93% in its final session. Your equity is worth roughly $58,000, and it's not clear even that number means anything. By mid-morning, people are walking out with boxes. The photographs, men and women in suits carrying cardboard containers down 7th Avenue, past the cameras, past the tourists, past the pretzel carts, they'll become the defining image of the financial crisis. You will see those photographs for the rest of your life. Some of them are of people you know. You carry your box out at 11:15 a.m. Inside is the mug, a calculator, and a Lehman Brothers fleece vest you got at a recruiting event 3 years ago. You turn south on 7th Avenue and you walk. And for a long time, you don't know where you're going. You just walk. There is a particular kind of knowledge that only comes from being inside something when it collapses. Not the kind you read about. Not the kind from documentaries with slow piano music and interviews with senators. The kind that lives in your body. The weight of a badge that stops working. The sound of a trading floor with nothing to trade. The specific silence of 50 people staring at screens that no longer matter. You will go on. You will update your resume, sit through interviews where they ask what went wrong at Lehman, as if you were the one making decisions on the 31st floor. You will land somewhere. Your career will recover. But you will never again look at a logo on a skyscraper and assume it means something permanent. It is September 15th, 2008. You are walking south on 7th Avenue with a cardboard box and a fleece vest, and a mug that says, "World's Okayest Trader." The sign is already off. If this one stayed with you, drop a comment telling me which moment hit the hardest. Subscribe if you want to see the next one. New videos every week.